Hello everybody and welcome to the Wake Up Report, and there is no nice way to put this, so let's go on ahead and say it. Little Kim is now FUBAR. Little Kim is fucked up beyond all recognition. Gone is that beautiful brown skin. Gone. That beautiful nose. Gone. Those beautiful lips. Gone. Those beautiful little titties that Diana Ross smacked around on the MTV Music Awards. Absolutely gone. Absolutely destroyed. Little Kim released some photographs of herself recently via Instagram. How somebody could do something like that to themselves physically is absolutely appalling. Absolutely shocking that somebody would do that type of surgery and perform that kind of Frankenstein mess on an individual is absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand how anybody could look at themselves in the mirror and think that that somehow makes them look beautiful, more attractive, more accepted, more worthy. The only possible way that you could identify that as Little Kim will be through her dental records or through a DNA sample. It is probably, hands down, beyond the shadow of a doubt, one of the best examples of self-hatred among black people that you can ever see. And that's exactly what this is. This is self-hatred. This is hatred of your black skin, hatred of your black lips, hatred of your black nose, hatred of your black hair, hatred of everything that God gave you. And isn't it ironic that when you reject the things that God gives you, you wind up looking like that, like a sideshow, a circus freak? I honestly believe that if Biggie were still alive today, Little Kim would not be the hot mess that she is. For whatever reason, Biggie was the glue that held that bad boy family together. And when Biggie died, man, all of it just fell apart as far as I'm concerned. The effect that it has or had on Little Kim, and I guess she looked to Biggie as like a really, really big brother or a father figure or whatever it was. But that guidance, whatever was there, was just gone, and I think it's a good example because come on, I mean, Biggie ain't the greatest looking guy on the planet, like a lot of us. Biggie's just an average guy, but he never changed himself. He never cut himself up, sliced himself up, peeled his skin off of his body, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Coogee down to the socks. Because Biggie knew what it was about. It wasn't about what you look like. If you're a man, it's about what you got. You can look like a gorilla's ass before he wiped it, after he took a shit. And as long as you got money, as long as you got power and access, as long as you stay Coogee down to the socks, you get the finest women on the planet. Because women will somehow rationalize sleeping with and marrying a man that looks like a gorilla's ass before he wiped it after he took a shit. But for women, for black women especially, this escapism into wanting to look like you white, into thinking that looking like that makes you attractive, makes you acceptable, makes you feel good about yourself. News flash for those of you who don't know. If I want a white girl, I will get a white girl. I do not want a reasonable facsimile thereof. I will get the real thing if I want a white girl. I don't want a black girl that has stripped herself down and remade herself to try to appear white. No matter what you look like on the outside, you're still a black woman on the inside. You're still a hood rat on the inside. You still got all the things that made you who you are on the inside. I will get a white girl if I want a white girl. Little Kim was beautiful. She was beautiful the way she was. And whatever it is that's swimming around in your brains that makes you think that you somehow are going to be accepted by society because you slice yourself up like this and you peel your skin. It's really ironic that white people lay in the sun all day so they can get brown, that white people get collagen in their lips and injections in their behinds and silicone in their breasts so everything can be bigger, and black people do the exact opposite. You're peeling the color off of your face, off of your bodies. You're pulling the thickness out of your lips. You're slicing your noses all up. And now you got black women with butt implants, breast implants, plastic. That's all she is plastic. She's become the very Barbie doll that she talked about. I believe it was How Many Licks? Except that version looked better than this. Now, Lil' Kim obviously did not invent this degree of self-hatred. As of course, Michael Jackson being a prime example, Sammy Sosa, and there are others that have done this to themselves. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine told me once about this, is that when we see the Michael Jacksons and the Lil' Kims, the Sammy Sosas, what they have is the economic ability to do what a lot of us would do ourselves. So to some degree, if you think your skin is too dark, if you think your nose is too big, if you think your lips are too big, would you change something about yourself? If you could take a pill that would make your skin lighter, would you do that? It's safe to say what you're looking at in Lil' Kim, what you're looking at is you in a lot of regards. So for all you black men out there who seem to have a bias against dark-skinned black women, who prefer, quote-unquote, light-skinned women, or light-skinned women, as they say in the hood, that's really what you want. That's what you're looking at. For all of you black people out there that say a dark-skinned girl looks pretty, quote-unquote, for a black girl, that's what you think beauty is. For those of you out there who still play the good hair, bad hair routine, that is the end game for what you feel on the inside. So as tragic as Lil' Kim looks physically, a lot of us, we may not be to that degree where Lil' Kim is, but you're walking around thinking the same thing. You're walking around perceiving the same thing. We see it all around us. The light-skinned women in the music videos. We see the light-skinned love interest, or the damn near white love interest, or the white love interest in the movies and on television. It's there. It's just that, you have people with the money and the guts, I guess, to just do what it is that they want to do. Also, this is, you're talking about decades of systematic programming and systematic racism and systematic self-hatred. There was a test way back in the 60s, I believe. It was the white doll test. For those of you who haven't seen it, basically what you did was you took two dolls, a black doll and a white doll. You took a kid, you put them in front of the dolls. You asked them to pick which doll they thought was the most attractive. 9 times out of 10, 2 times out of 20, and so on, the black kids would pick the white doll. When they were asked why they picked the white doll, they said because the white doll was pretty. And they says, well, why didn't you pick the black doll? Well, because the black doll is ugly. The kids pretty much looked like the black doll. So what it was a good example of how early on media and the reinforcement of certain images perpetuate this self-hatred among black people. To this day, you see black women still buy their girls white dolls. You still see a lot of the things, like I said, within the black community: good hair, bad hair, too dark, too black, blackie, midnight, chocolate, just all kinds of things. So as a black person, if you're not shielded from that, or you don't have a very good perception of yourself, and on top of that, all of the stuff that white racism did, all the horrific images, the Sambos and the coons and watermelons and big lips and all that kind of job. I mean, there was a systematic job done on black people's psyche in this country that we have yet to recover from. So black people always want to talk about how white America doesn't want to deal with racism, how white America doesn't want to deal with a lot of things. Well, there are a lot of things that we don't want to deal with either. One of the things that we don't want to deal with is this self-prejudice, this self-hatred, this self-loathing that has been inbred and festering in black people for such a long time that it is almost on automatic pilot. There isn't a black person that can't tell you about the Willie Lynch speech. I don't know if you remember when this Willie Lynch speech was discovered, and it just taught about how to keep blacks divided and how to conquer blacks. And black people to this day are still carrying out pretty much the Willie Lynch speech. So you could have a black person reading the Willie Lynch speech and then turn around and say, yeah, well, I ain't gonna date that black ass girl. She's too black for me. I like my women light skinned. It really is a shame that Lil' Kim surrounds herself with ass kissers yes men, bootlickers, dick riders. You should always have somebody in your camp that no matter who you are, how big you get, how bad you think you are, they can always tell you about yourself. I have a good friend that if I do something that is really effed up, he'll tell me, man, that was effed up what you did. He'll tell me about myself if he has to. And unfortunately, it really seems like she doesn't have anybody to tell her about herself, especially when somebody could have intervened at some point and pulled her to the side and say, look, you're going a little bit too far with this. Maybe you need to talk to somebody and confront her and say, look, you got some real self-hatred issues that you got to deal with, because what you're doing is not normal. Peeling the skin off of your body is not normal. Cutting your nose off is not normal. Slicing your lips up is not normal. And the absolute sad part about it is I believe Lil' Kim has a child. So when your child gets old enough and they're going to see old pictures of the old Lil' Kim, and they're going to see what their mother currently looks like, again, just because you peeled all that brown off of you on the surface, you're going to still pop out brown babies. But them brown babies are going to now be infected by the self-hatred that you've put upon yourself. Because if my mother didn't like being black, why should I be black? I don't want to be black either. Everything sexy, everything desirable, everything beautiful, everything that gave me an erection about Lil' Kim, gone. Hey, I'm with Biggie. Maybe we'll wake up one day and discover it was all a dream. This is KTM in the Wake Up Report, saying think a little bit. It will do wonders for you.